Parliament's recess, preparations are in full swing for the IPCO meetings that will take place here on St. Martin in the beginning part of January of 2019. The IPCO meeting, of course, is the meeting of the 4 parliaments of the kingdom. However, before every IPCO meeting, the delegations of the 3 Caribbean countries always meet as well. We call that a tripartite meeting between Aruba, Curacao, and St. Martin. So on the day before IPCO starts, we will have that tripartite meeting. IPCO is scheduled to take place from January the 7th through the 11th. We have dialogued about the program for the IPCO. When I say dialogued, I mean between the 4 parliaments, and this type of a consultation takes place via video conference. So the Netherlands, Curacao, Aruba, and St. Martin, we had that video conference to prepare for the IPCO, at which time we hear from the other partners in the kingdom if they have any ideas for the agenda for IPCO. Normally, you would have the outcome of a previous IPCO, so in this case, the May-June IPCO of 2018, the outcome of that meeting will serve as a guideline for the upcoming meetings. So even in those meetings, we would discuss matters that will come up in the following meeting. You have recurring themes such as education and public health, etc., immigration, and we always during IPCO meetings have the possibility for so-called work visits. This takes place in the different countries. As you know, IPCO rotates from country to country. That's why in January 2019, it is St. Martin's turn to have this IPCO meeting. And we had planned on Monday gone to have several of our ministers in at Parliament to provide an update on some of the topics that IPCO partners would like to hear about. However, there was a misunderstanding as to the purpose of that meeting that should have taken place Monday last, and the ministers were not aware of what was being expected of them. However, what was expected was that the ministers in question would have briefed Parliament about some topics that are going to come up during IPCO. We have partners in the kingdom who will be part of the IPCO who have, for example, asked about the update on the whole dump situation. You know, given the fact that the dump landfill / the fires at the dump are issues of ongoing discussion here on St. Martin, but also in the context of the funding provided for by the Netherlands. There is a program that will get started in January 2019 that will be funded by the trust fund having to do with emergency debris removal. And this program to be funded by the trust fund includes several components. The clearing up of debris, of course, as the name implies, also has a part of salvaging vessels out of the Simpson Bay Lagoon, cleaning up, picking up debris, looking at what we call the Irma dump. So this is a project that is part of the World Bank Trust Fund funding. And coming back on that, the whole matter of the dump solutions for the dump, approaches to the dump, as well as the road map for solutions to the dump, is a matter of interest for the participants in the IPCO. So the intention was, as I mentioned, to have the minister give this Parliament of St. Martin an update. That did not go ahead. We hope to still have that at some time. In addition to that, another question that is out there regards housing on St. Martin.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Tell them, connecting you.
We, this government, should start the process, this process of creating and having our own poverty line, and I think you would also agree with that. We should not have this discussion anymore on which to use, and the sister from Holland, the Neboot, a sample size from the said, but let's go and have the hard facts, the data from our local entity, and so we can start to work on these things. I think if we want to take this serious, if we want to take the government serious, then they have to start with that. Let's create our poverty line. Let's set the stipulations for our poverty line. I mean, if we, with our eyes, of course, we could look around and see, of course, there is poverty on St. Martin. And if you look at the United Nations, they make clear distinctions as extreme poverty, the different scopes of poverty. All these aspects and things I will also like to see in our report, so we could have and create policies based on data. So that's one. I believe as a parliament, we should now instruct the government to start this process as soon as possible. You also made a good reference talking about, and also in the video, the homes from the elderly, and this was before the hurricane. So of course we know that with the amount of damage and the scope of the hurricane, that you can assume that many more now fall in this category. And MP Duran and I yesterday were speaking about this actually, and the fact that if you look at SMDF, they have built 23 homes already and 100 repairs. At this point in time, I believe that we might as well, and comparing it to government, who have now built 6.5 homes in the same time period, we might as well, give the SMDF the money to execute these projects. They are working at a faster pace. Any question you ask them, they could account for. Every penny they could account for. They already could tell you in advance. If you give them $2 more million, they could create how much more homes and repair this amount of homes. Whereas we have a government with a full, with more access, with all the information, with all the data of who and what. Because at the end of the day, SMDF also is using the same data from government and working at a faster pace. So that's something else I believe we should champion as a parliament is let's remove the funds from the VROMI maybe and give them to SMDF, and they have less bureaucracy to go through. They don't have to go through the same procedures as the World Bank as the government, and let's get this process started and have these homes built. And I would like to know, your opinion on that and your feedback on that proposal.
Hey ma, how you doing? You busy?
I hear, just paying some bills, taking care of business, you know what it is?
I know, you're doing your online banking.
I don't have to stand in those long lines to pay bills. I can transfer when I want. I can check my account wherever. It's like the bank open 24/7. I even here checking the statement right now as we're talking. How's Miami?
Well, that's why I'm calling. I'm finishing up a few songs now, but I'm afraid that studio time might be more than I thought. And I was wondering if I could get some help with some funds, and I could pay you back as soon as I get back to St. Martin.
Let me check my account. How much you need?
I think 500 should be enough.
I can transfer it to you while online. Direct from me to you. No problem.
Great. Thank you so much, Ma. I'll get online with Viv now.
Alright, darling. You know who you're for?
I need to know who you're for.
Contact WIB today for your complete personal online banking experience. Available for all mobile devices. The Wynwood Islands Bank, now your online banking partner in progress.
one issue more that I wanted to address. It is more a call on government to put back traffic signs. After the hurricane and with the passing of the hurricane, many traffic signs, were destroyed by the hurricane, and as such are no longer there. We can imagine that it would have taken a few weeks maybe to replace, but it is unacceptable that a year after the passing of the hurricane, vital traffic signs are not there. If you look, for instance, here at by UTS, by the end of the street by the old post office, that traffic sign has been, it is no longer there. Now, we who know that there was a sign there, and we know you can't make a right to go onto the pond fill, but other people may not know. We are entering the high season for tourists, the high tourist season. We expect many visitors to be on the island, and it would be unfortunate if people get into accidents out of ignorance. When you're leaving cost you less, there's always been a traffic sign that says you can't make a left and go down. You got to make the right, go up in the roundabout if you want to go in the direction of town. That sign is no longer there. And so there are many signs all over St. Martin that are down and that pose a threat to traffic. One of these days, accidents will happen if accidents have already not been happening. But one of these days, you can have a fatal accident. And what would you then tell the individual? You can't tell him you live here, you should have known, because people are expected to follow the traffic sign. So it's a call on government to kindly look into this with a certain urgency, not only because we are entering the tourist season, but there are people who are getting their licenses and they are told while getting their license, while they're being trained, prepared to get their license, to follow the traffic signs. But you can't be teaching someone and say, oh, by the way, you can't make a left there. There is no sign, but you shouldn't be making a left there. And then what are they to expect when they reach certain intersections? So that's the other issue that I wanted to briefly address here this afternoon.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
1,
2,
3,
4. This is how common it is to develop a mental illness. 1 out of every 4.
4.
4.
4. But there is hope. Today, most mental illnesses can be managed and treated. Visit your general doctor if you feel concerned about your thoughts and behaviors or have some difficulty dealing with some of life's issues.
If you have been diagnosed and are suffering from a mental illness, keep in mind these 4 points to help you manage your mental health.
1. Get regular checkups with your general doctor.
2. Stay on your treatment plan to prevent relapses.
3. Find a strong support group in your family and friends.
And 4. Never be afraid to ask for help and look for the warning signs of your illness.
Remember, you are not alone. We are as close as one.
2.
3.
4.
Learn about mental health illness by going to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
Prime Minister, Ministers, good morning. My question is for the Minister of Education. During a press briefing sometime back, he mentioned that the process to start the pre-law program had already started. How far ahead are you with the pre-law program?
Thank you for your question. The pre-law program is to be organized and established and set up by the University of St. Martin. The government has indicated, of course, that it will financially support it. So the University of St. Martin is the one, and I have not received any information from the university recently as to how far they are with this.
Thank you, Minister Smith. Lyndon Brown of BCN TV, you have the floor.
Good morning to the people of St. Martin. Seasoned greetings, and also to the ministers. Question to Minister Gittison. Glad to see you again. For years it have been pending that the people around the dump will be removed. And I overheard the Prime Minister also highlight that also. Do you have a timeline? Because it is unhealthy, it have been said, months and years, it is unhealthy. They are still smelling the stench, and the Prime Minister said that there will be some delocation. Do you have in plan where and how soon?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Brown. There is no timeline as for the relocation of the people around the dump. This week I understand that there was some evaluations going on. They went out on the spot to see exactly what is going on, how many people are living in the so-called the zone that we are concerned with, and how many businesses are there, etc. So we still have to assess that information and put a timeline to it to see exactly how we would plan on moving them, if that is the necessary step that we have to take. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Heatherson. Andrew Bishop of stmartinnewsonline.com, you have the floor.
Good morning, ministers. I have questions for everybody, but I will start with Minister Kitson. Sir, we understand and we have noticed and commend you on the way that you've been doing the road patching. But there's some other important aspects. There is a road going up to Guana Bay, where there's no railings, and there's also another road in the Hope Estate that goes up behind the school that has no railings. How soon could we see that fixed?
Thank you for the question. The Guana Bay Road, I must honestly say, was not on the list, but there is a list of roads that we are planning on putting rail lanes on. The Sualiga Road, for instance, is one, across from the Melford Hazel sports facility. The road behind the school, I am aware of it. I'm not sure if that road is also on the list. A time frame, I would have to get back to you on that. I cannot give you a specific time frame now on when those works will be executed, but we are aware of the situations and we are planning on addressing them as soon as possible.